So I'm gonna read some questions in Reddit about fashion schools because I work in a fashion school for many years, and I thought I can give my insight. Number one, what is the best school for fashion? I think you have to think of in terms of what kind of fashion designer you want to be, or which area you intend to work. Because if you're intending to work in London or stay in London as a fashion designer, I think that you could search some schools there. But since I live in France, I can recommend the schools that I went to. I went to ESMOD and I went to Modart. So I would recommend those two schools because I feel like I got a good education from them. Next, I have little experience in fashion. Can I get into fashion school? Of course, fashion school is there to help you out. Like, I don't know where the assumption came from that you have to know everything by the time you get there. I do admit that some kids or some students, they already have the inclination. Like, you can see immediately they have the style. A lot of them can draw. A lot of them are into art. But it doesn't mean they couldn't make things. Maybe they are good at one thing or informed, let's say informed in the other. Next, um, are fashion schools worth it? Okay, and let's also say here, is a degree in fashion design worth it, or should I just teach myself? Um, for me, of course it depends on your budget or anything, but if it's something you're really interested in, I think a degree would serve you best because you can learn more about something that you love. Because how can you teach something that you have no idea about? Like, I don't know, what will make you think this is a good one, this is a good work versus a bad work. How can you formulate your opinions about that? I think, yes, we can teach ourselves certain things, but there are a number of things also that we could be guided by. This is why a lot of these online tutorials like super prof, they come in because, for example, you don't have the time to go to a full-time school, like to learn for 4 years or 3 years. Then you can get at least a teacher or a tutor, as they would say. And in the case with a lot of my students, I have some students who are much older. They have been working in the fashion industry for years, but they do like mostly hand drawings or pattern drafting or something, and then they want to venture into making the designs for themselves because they have the idea, they have the experience, but they just don't know how to draw it on Illustrator. So usually that's where come in. I am not there to teach them the concept of design or making a collection. They knew a lot about that already. In fact, I learned even more from them, and then I just help them place their ideas on Illustrator. So I think I would say that at least get a guide if you don't want to go to school. Um, how screwed am I financially if I get a fashion design major? Okay, I must admit that when I was looking for fashion schools, I didn't find a lot of scholarships or financial aid. Fashion schools, especially in Europe, are so expensive, right? It's private school, it's not a public school. And I do feel sad, like, why we don't have as much scholarships? And even if we do find a scholarship for fashion, you have to win a contest first or something. Like, I don't know. I have some family and friends who had scholarships for science or for research, and they didn't have to do anything. They just had to write a letter, maybe present an idea for a paper or something like that. We could also do that in fashion, like present a project or a case study even for a fashion industry. I just wish we would have more financial support because it's really expensive to get into fashion schools. That I must agree on. Let's see if I can still get more interesting questions from, I'm just reading from Reddit. Um, oh no. Are fashion schools worth it? Uh-huh. Okay, let me just wrap this up by telling. I think I mentioned this already in an older TikTok, but I'm gonna say it anyway. What do I look for, or if I had to go back and I would look for a fashion school, what would be the things that I would look for? First, I would check the program itself, like year one, year two, year three, and I would like to see some progress, like from year one to year two, like if there are certain topics that I'm interested in, particularly, let's say, fashion illustration, I would like to see it in year one, year two, year three, and not just simply be tackled or mentioned in a month or so in year one, something like that. You get what I mean? Like I want to see it year after year. Second, I'm gonna check their alumni, like I want to see what happened to them. Were they able to make their own brands? Were they successful? And number three, I'm gonna check the. This should probably the first, the credibility of the school. Like, what kind of certificate, diploma will I get? Is it recognized by the government? Is it sufficient enough for a student visa, for and then I will go on LinkedIn and type in fashion designer jobs in that area where the school is, and I will see if that school is mentioned at all, like at least 3 times by 3 different companies. That would be my rating. Anyway, hope this helps. Au revoir.